I try to encourage people to sort of read the room.
Yeah.
Have some like know your story, know what parts of your past are good to reference and maybe not good to reference.
Hmm.
Have a curiosity about the other person's work and where the business is going overall, and lean
Yep.
into those things. Like if I remember back to some of the best interviews I've ever had or conversations I've had in like the workforce, there's always been like a combination of excitement about the industry and something interesting about each other. So I
Yeah.
might have told this story on the podcast before, but like one of my first interviews in college, I had a broken thumb from skiing, and the person that I interviewed with was a huge skier. I didn't know much about
Nice.
skiing, but he just talked about skiing almost the whole interview, and like it was a great conversation. I would just kind of try to keep up, and that kind of stuff where like putting that I was in a ska band on my resume back in the day, years ago, like it just led to memorable things that people could like bring up again at the in the
Yep.
holiday party. How's your band doing and stuff like that. Obviously, that's like entry level stuff, but there's different levels of that throughout your career, right?
Yeah.
Like what organizations are you part of, or do you bake, or
Hmm.
different things that might be interesting.
Where are the kids going to college?
Exactly. And like this small talk stuff, because
Yep.
I definitely went through a phase in my career where I kind of rallied against small talk because I was in that whole startup, scene, and everyone was like, no, we're all about the deep conversations. It's like, yeah, that's cool too. But um, I think sometimes we undervalue small talk and how, you know, getting comfortable in in like a situation, like it's okay to reference the weather, it's okay to reference the city that you're in, it's okay to reference these things to get things moving so that
Yeah.
you can get to the meat and potatoes of things, right? Because it's hard for people to just go sometimes.
Yep.
And so, there might be some warming up or buttering up or different things like that. It's always good to like go like, hey, your team seems to be doing some really cool stuff, and mention a few things that maybe you've read. Um, but yeah, I mean, it really is. I try to help people improvise a little bit and read the room a little bit, because if you're too formulaic, then you're not listening, right? And this kind of comes from the
Exactly.
exactly. And so when you
Yep.
sort of are talking with people and working with people, maybe it's the extroverts really that struggle with the listening piece. What have you seen?
So I think listening in general is just difficult because we're so trained to think. When a teacher's writing a problem on the board, we're supposed to be thinking about how to solve the problem. We're always taught, and it's been reinforced and brainwashed, and it's not in like a creepy way, but it's just our society, how our society works, how we're raised is, how are you going to respond? How are you going to solve this? And, be quick. And sometimes it's not always about being quick. Sometimes it's about being thoughtful. And I think as society evolves and we're starting to see more trends in that EQ is really starting to matter. And appreciating people as people, not just, oh, this is your department and this is your department. Everyone you can say hello, good morning to, if you're physically going into work. On Slack channels or Teams and things like that, you can do the same thing, like, hey, good morning, crew. It's something simple like that, just a pleasantry. Pleasantries are something that I've heard a lot of people, a lot of clients that I've worked with have said, yeah, people, they just aren't very nice. Like nobody even says hello, or, nobody knows my kids' names. Or when my parent passed away, they're like, okay, well, I need this report. So,
Yeah.
make sure it's turned in by the end of the day. It's like, I'm burying my father. It's like the report's not going to happen. So I think that, first of all, researching organizations before you choose to apply there is going to be really important about the type of culture you end up at. And so, not that you need to be a cultural fit, you can be a cultural add, you can have your own uniqueness to it, But do you want to be in that type of cutthroat environment that some organizations are known for and some people absolutely thrive in? That may be some of our listeners. They really want that competitive environment. And some people more so want an environment where it's more collaborative. And these are things that you can research ahead of time. And then depending on everybody's unique personality is how you would approach situations. I think there's the fundamentals of, listen, come prepared, and follow up. So that may be, after you have a one-on-one with somebody, then connect with them on LinkedIn, sending them a message. Thanks so much for our one-on-one. Really appreciate it. And then when they accept your connection request, endorsing them for their skills. So those little foundational things, those extra touches, maybe someone in the organization taught you how to use a certain software that you haven't used before. Well, then the next day, while while they're teaching you, ask them, do you like tea or coffee, or, what's your go-to beverage? And then they tell you, and then the next day you bring it in and on a little post-it note, say like, thank you for teaching me how to, do this. Those little touches are going to make people like and trust you. And that's what it's about. When you land at an organization, you want people to like and trust you. Now, you don't have to be everybody's best friend, but there has to be respect there. And that professional respect goes a long way, because you don't necessarily have to like a person to work with them, but you have to collaborate to get the job done. Otherwise, somebody's going to be leaving soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you don't want it to be you. You just went through that terrible job search.
Exactly. Right. I think it's fun that you mention all these things, because I know Ted Lasso is kind of blowing up right now in a lot of circles, and it's being talked about a lot on LinkedIn, because it's sort of like a master class in how to get people who don't like you to at least like put up with you. Because like he goes in, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's about a soccer coach, a football coach who goes to I think England, and is like teaching a soccer or coaching a soccer team. And basically like he comes in with these like biscuits every morning for the manager of the whole team. And she's like, where are you getting these? And she's like, goes on like a whole search to like find out where these biscuits are from. And for like episodes and episodes, she can't figure it out. And they're like taste testing all these biscuits. And it turns out he's like making them at home every night. And like, it's one of those things where like, you kind of kill him with kindness in a way. And obviously that's that one person's, sort of style. But, and I want to be very clear as we're talking about all these things, these are ideas of where to start, right? These aren't prescriptions, right? If you're not a baker, don't go try and bake, right? Like that's not going to be the best thing ever. You're going to give someone burnt brownies, but you kind of have to find.
I would still eat them.
Of course. I mean, burnt brownies are amazing, but it's like, you have to sort of find your style and figure out what the company's style is, right? Like I'm a contractor, so it's sort of different when I start a new role. I still have to meet people. I still have to get to know people, but there is sort of a little bit more of like an independent assumption, right?